Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel that loves a challenge, and hopefully we'll be back on more than a regular, like, one to possibly never time frame. Hello Takedown, hello Van, how is everybody doing? Don't be shocked that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, as I haven't been here for a while. So, my Pokemon game is pretty non-existent at this moment. So I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on. Some of my messages that I wrote sometimes you put in the chat. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw that. Thought it was Jover. Nah, no, we are. Nice. 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 Already putting the puns. But yeah. So, give me a couple of minutes to figure out what the heck is going on, as I am definitely going to be going in here completely lost. Let me start up my timer here, because we all know I was definitely notorious for that. Alright. Oh shoot, I completely forgot about my controller setup and everything. Cool. You're in red? I am in FireRed. Okay, move Doug Trio in box 1. What did I do previously on my quest? How's the pooch doing? It's a sorry if it's sensitive. No. She's doing okay. She is acting like she never had any problems or surgeries. Like she wasn't buzzed out of her mind for a long time, unable to like walk or anything. And now she has become pretty much the same old dog. So, it's pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting her to bounce back that quick. And, you know, obviously like a month and a half. That's quick, right? Is Mr. Mick thriving and surviving? I have no idea what's in my party. Or anything for that matter. So let's see what we have. Takedown MG. Let's see, 137, 69.99 with the Intimidate, like and sub. Redeemed a full squeeze? Are you serious? I just started and you're already redeeming the full squeeze chicken? So much for love sleeping. Alright, where is this chicken? Where has it gone to? Where did it go? Where has the full cheese chicken flown to? Alright, give me a second to find this full squeeze chicken somewhere. Hey baby, you know where the chicken is? Unless she decided not. Oh, it is here. It's just behind us. Alright, guys. Well, I guess we'll start out strong with a chicken. You guys know. I'm sure everybody missed that chicken. I'm sure all the people just tuning in weren't just enjoying their Sunday morning cereal and then suddenly in their ear. But it's all good. Alright, let's see what we've got here. So, Jolteon. Good attack. Good spec attack. I completely forgot about that. With Volt Absorb. This is what you've been waiting for. Yeah, as a headphone user, I'm suing. Listen, I cannot help your delicate ears. Alright, so let's see. I think we are here because we're in the process of updating our team. I think we're pushing on to the final team here, which means more likely than not, we'll be done with this and moving on to Leaf Green probably in like a day or two, I think. Blocks crits. Passes on status problems. Coco. Immunity to poison. Prevents poisoning. That's great. Completely forgot Coco had that. And then Darwin's. Which is, I think, our last possible flyer. This is a great thing to hear as soon as I come in. Yeah, welcome to the channel. It's what happens. Already 17:45. Don't forget that half of the viewers are from over the pond. That is correct. I do forget that some of you guys are across the pond here. Well, you guys know my weekend and holiday schedule is a little early anyway, so yeah, with the job and all this, the new stuff that's happening, and it'll be a little bit of a busy time frame for me. Did we even finish? Man, it's like, you guys ever get that thing where, like, you put down a game and then you come back, like, 2 years later and you're just like, where are all the quests? Why am I holding a sword? Who even are these people? Are you Canadian? No, I am not Canadian. Do I sound Canadian? Do I sound like I've got the Canuck in me? Do I sound as though I am ready to go ahead and pour maple syrup onto my... That's... You know, I kind of wonder what maple syrup on my microphone would sound like. I also don't want to ruin, like, a $200-something piece of equipment just to find out. Just doing settlement building, making a greenhouse for Sanctuary. Nice. How long has it been since your last stream? When were you last here? SRB, I do not know, but I think you're Canadian? Nice. Well, welcome from the Great White North. Yeah, Canadians are cool. Every Canadian I've known has been, like, super chill. Super cool. Oot na boot. Alright, so we have finished Blaine. Lord knows I don't remember doing that. Maybe I should have sat down and watched my last stream. 2/3 Montessori school last big stream. Let's see. The last time that I had a live, it was a while ago. So far, you've died to fall damage once. Man, I die to fall damage all the time. Okay, let's see. So, the last time prior to this that we had a stream was... Let me take a look at the lives here. Streamed 8 days ago. That doesn't count. That was a short... It was 2 months ago. Holy heck. Now, opinions on the Nintendo Alarmo? I don't understand what the point of it is. Like, why do we need that? What were we even doing? Are we grinding to 60 just to finish this out? And then, hold on, let me check Gary's. Excuse me. Blue. So I can figure out what the heck I am doing right now. FireRed, Leaf Green, Gym Leader. Okay, so he is sitting at level 45 to level 50. I think most of my stuff can handle that, but I'm not going to go ahead and have anything less than 55, most likely. Anything less than 50 would just end up dying to, You don't have the last badge if that helps. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out, how to deal with Giovanni here. I just gotta make sure that everything is at least above level 50 right now. Win or else you might lose. Gotcha. Man. Is now going to be the old schedule. I'm gonna have to honestly figure out the schedule and everything else. There's been so many things that have happened since the last time we've really streamed that, like, I don't think the old schedules are gonna work anymore. Because, yeah, I mean, even though my dog is doing okay right now, she's still, like, she's still not as strong as she used to be, so. Who's the gym leader? I think we're going for Giovanni after this. I'm not exactly sure. I think. But yeah, the schedule is probably going to change here soon. But I got to figure out exactly what to do with it, is all. Oh, man, I forgot. We're at that point where every Pokemon is going to be an absolute trudge to go ahead and level up. You know what time it is? Quiz time? Oh no. Listen, my brain is still recovering. I can't quiz. Can I choose to pass the quiz? Doing fine, not much to say. Yeah, there hasn't been too much change. So work has been extremely busy. You know, when it comes to finances, everything's just constantly busy. Yeah, and there's a lot more work going on. I may actually have to switch my schedule and stuff here soon. Hey! So, here's a question. Is it manga-aunt? Is it mangount? Is it aont? Like, can you phonetically pronounce this? Because I'm just gonna call you manga otherwise. What color is Jack's wax? No! We're not doing this. It's black, bluish black. Bluish black, you can call me, Mott. Alright, yeah, that works. Mott it is. Well, welcome to the channel. I used to be a lot more regular. Now we're just getting back into it after, like, 2 months because my dog had surgery. And, a bunch of other stuff happened, like, all around the same time. So, yeah, welcome. Yeah, I think the streaming schedule might turn into, like, it might turn into, like, every other day, as much as I'd like to do every day. Personally, listen, if I had it my way, I would like to go ahead and do, like, 16-hour, 12-hour streams a day, if that was up to me. But, you know, life has other plans, so. Ooh, double intimidate. Look at us, a couple of big boys, looking at each other. We don't even have an XP share or anything, do we? Ugh. I thought that we did. Some type of XP share? Oh, right, because this is not any of the others. This is FireRed and Leaf Green, where XP share is locked behind an insurmountable barrier in a Nuzlocke. Listen, if you're expecting me to go like nom 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 every time food comes around, that is not going to happen because it gets obnoxious some days. By the way, huge Earthbound fan and decided to try the original 80s game, Beginnings. Confirm, going crazy and grind for hours in each area. Yeah, I didn't enjoy Earthbound or like Origins or the original Earthbound. I was not a fan of it. Tried it myself and it was a lot. It definitely shows its age. I forgot how catchy all of this music was. But I am still concerned that, like, I'm gonna get slapped by the gods that are, you know, the gods that are copyright. So what's been going on with everybody else's life? You guys know what's been going on with me, but how is everyone else faring? Any exciting things going on? Any good news? Any bad news? Anybody graduated? Anybody got new jobs? Funny thing, tried to play Pikmin 4 earlier. 30 minutes in. Oh, you got your mother to play Pikmin 4 and she gave up not having beaten the tutorial. She's bad at video games. It makes sense. I get it. It's kind of like my dad. My dad is not a big fan of video games. The only one he's really good at is Tekken. Yeah, my dad used to get lines around the arcade to play him in Tekken back when he was really good at it. But got a job finally making money. Yeah, everybody loves making money. You know, some people a little more than others, but you just won your soccer game tomorrow? Hold on, how did you win your soccer game in the future? Or are you that confident in your win that you're just like, man, I'm so confident in my win, I'm gonna declare it right now and not hope karma takes the best of me. A new president already? Yeah, here's the thing. Listen, we're not going to talk politics here. We're going to avoid that subject like the absolute plague, as I have found currently American politics is the absolute worst subject anybody can talk about ever. So, we're just going to... It's called Spirit? Gotcha. Well, as long as it's not like the airlines, you're perfectly fine. Trying to learn Dragon Dance. What is this nonsense? Who even wants Dragon Dance? Mystical that boosts users' attack and speed stats. I could get rid of Rain Dance for Dragon Dance, but I think Rain Dance is gonna stay in. Did really try hard, though. I'll give her credit for that. Hey, give it where it's due, right? But yeah, I haven't played a Pikmin game since the original Pikmin, so I honestly couldn't tell. Learn it? To get rid of Rain Dance to learn that? But I had my Rain Dance Thunder combo ready. Dragon Dance is great. Alright. But then what do I get rid of? Bite? No, because I don't want to, like... I feel like Dragon Dance is alright, but... Alright, alright. If that is the case, I just need to know what we're getting rid of, guys. If we're gonna put Dragon Dance in. You guys know my aversion to boosting moves, but... I will rely on you guys. You know a hell of a lot more about Pokemans than I do. Water Pulse, you've already got Surf? Yeah, I suppose. I mean, a 60 versus my 95. It was just more over the fact that it didn't have enough PP. And in the grinding phase, it makes it a lot easier. Alright, let's go with, let's put like and sub up front, please. Don't have anything bad happen to you. I just came back. We cannot have anything crazy happen to you. I don't remember how you work. Well, certainly not that. She needs to eat. This isn't too bad. I mean, obviously it's going to be a little bit of a grind to go ahead and get through this, but... I mean, we could do a speed up, but I think since we've been gone for so long, let's not worry about speeding up any of this process and just do it the old-fashioned way. Because I'm going to have to get used to it anyway. Once we get to the 3DS era of games, there's going to be no... There's not going to be any speeding up that we can do. Because the 3DS era games are going to be direct plugins, I believe. Which, talking about that, I really gotta go ahead and get myself a 3DS so I can start figuring out the logistics of getting that to transfer on screen.
I finished that wine last night.
Huh?
I said I finished that wine last night.
You finished the wine last night?
Yeah.
No wonder you're groggy.
That hurts.
Did you let it rest? Did you let the tannins flow? Yeah, you know, you're supposed to open the glass and then let it aerate and stuff.
I mean, the bottle was open. And
Don't
it
forget
in my cup
about
for a bit.
Rain Dance's 50% boost to water types moves and the fire percent debuffs. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured as well. Yeah, it makes Surf way stronger. Plus, it'll be really good when we get to some of the other dudes, but... Guess I can't have a spirited discussion about George Washington's presidency. No discussion about the founding fathers, current fathers or mothers. None of that. No political discussions. We are keeping it on the non-existent list at this moment because it is currently a topic that will burn people's channels to the ground. And I am not about to go ahead and come back from 2 months and then immediately throw my channel under a train.
And then there's me. I'll fight somebody.
Hello, McFly? Anybody home? Think, McFly, think! It balances out. Maybe I should do, like... I wonder, like... if maybe I should do some Pikmin runs or something. I haven't, like I said, I haven't played it since the original.
I've never played Pikmin.
You've never played Pikmin? Hey, maybe that'd be a good game to start with.
All I can hear is them in my head.
Start with Pikmin 1 and work your way up?
What platform is it on?
Huh?
What platform is it on?
It's all Nintendo. You're doing a Pokemon Shining Pearl Nuzlocke? Ooh. How does that feel? So I've never played Pearl... or Diamond or any of that generation. So going into there, it's going to be pretty blind for me. Yeah, like, so outside of, like, the only games that I had played were Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, and then... Black and White. So I hadn't played any of the other stuff. So all of it's not difficult. I hear that Generation 4 is very difficult, and everybody and their mother has warned me about Cynthia. At least in the X and Y games, there's this thing called the Battle Chateau, so you can get a bunch of XP and money grinding there. I'm not going to have, like, any big problems when I get there, right? You are home? Well, welcome home. I don't have a song for that. Yeah. I have no songs or anything. Also, I think we're going to introduce, like, song requests back into the rotation, because a long time ago, I think way before some of you guys even came to the channel, I used to have, like, song requests and stuff. Where people could actually request, like, karaoke sessions and whatnot. And I may actually end up doing that. I'm just gonna have to find a good, fun karaoke program, so that way the words will scroll up on screen, so you guys don't have to hear me just making shit up as I go.
I might be able to help you out with that.
Did fight Cynthia, can confirm she got the hands. Ooh. Shouldn't have any problems. It's arguably one of the easiest.
Now those are conflicting statements.
Yeah, there's a... I feel like people come in two flavors of Cynthia. I would recommend a playthrough first. Oh, unfortunately, there is no such thing as that. I am going through everything blind. All of these Pokemon games that I've played, I have had no idea what I was getting into before I started doing it. I just went in completely blind, learned along the way, hoped that the community would shepherd and herald me to victory, and that's been how it's gone. Oh, X and Y? Gotcha, gotcha. I thought you meant, like... Ooh... This thing could explode me. So, we're gonna... What do we do? Do we run? Do we fight it? Like, let's run. There's no point in accidentally getting, like, having this wheezing nut on my Pokemon and leave it there gasping for air. We're just gonna let it be. I'd rather take a little longer than go for the risky biscuit. You can bicycle from home, only touching your steering wheel 4 times, the rest without hands. Man, I don't think I ever could do that. Like, I was always wondering at all those kids who could go ahead and ride their bikes without their handlebars and stuff. I never understood how they could do that. But then I was kind of more of a rollerblader than a cyclist. Run from the bombs? Yeah, I don't think it's worth the possible good stuff for just a little bit of XP. XP is bountiful. My Pokemon's lives are not. Yeah, I've also never understood how people can do wheelies and shit with their bikes, too. Like, I was always terrible at that. We'll go Body Slam, see how it fares first. Aside from the new fairy typing, you shouldn't have any major issues. It's when modern XP share gets introduced. Wait a second, is there, like, universal XP share in some of those later generations? Because I will say, I really enjoyed that about Ruby and Sapphire, the fact that there was, like, a more universal XP. That was very nice. Great for leveling. Extremely enjoyable quality of life update, but now being back in the red and blue era, I'm just like, ugh, why? All of those things that I loved, gone. You could do a wheelie? Yeah, I can't do a wheelie. I also finished Naruto while you were... Wow! How'd you enjoy it? How did you enjoy Naruto? It was very long. We're at episode, what, 400 and something of One Piece. We're in the middle of Impel Down, so we're very excited. Extremely happy to be finally getting through it. And man, it's just like every time we watch it, it's just like crazy great. I can understand why people say that One Piece is like one of the greatest animes now. Having really put some time into it, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You can do a wheelie with both wheels. Whoa! And Naruto Shippuden. Naruto Shippuden is pretty cool. Let's see. I remember watching both Naruto and then slamming through Shippuden when I finally got to it. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It wasn't, like, amazing. I don't know. I've kind of grown out of Naruto. It feels kind of like a big old power fantasy sometimes. But then Hunter x Hunter feels like a power fantasy sometimes. And, you know, I don't mind that at all. But then, you know, Chimera Ant arc, really hard to say anything bad about Chimera Ant arc. So, you also finished up the Shippuden series. Nice, nice. Episode 116 of One Piece and 222 of Shippuden. Let me tell you, One Piece was something that it took a little bit to grow on me. One Piece was very much a fungus. It was one of those things where I wasn't expecting it to be, like, everything everyone always chalks up One Piece to be, and it was everything that they told me and more. And finished Chainsaw Man. I haven't, like, had the chance to watch modern anime in a while. It's either been slamming through One Piece or catching up on my backlog of forever anime. That's the one thing that being off for a while gave me, and it was kind of nice to be able to just catch up on all that anime that I hadn't. Yeah. Hunter's the GOAT. Well, I mean, the new one's coming, isn't it? I mean, whenever they finally decide. You know what I'm most excited about? The new Berserk. I'm so excited that Berserk is finally getting restarted. If you guys don't know, the guy who made Berserk passed away. But unbeknownst to most people, him and his best friend had helped design the story of Berserk together. And so his best friend has decided to go ahead and continue Berserk to finish the story that they had designed. So we're finally going to get an ending to Berserk. Which is very exciting. And you're now watching Fairy Tail. I think Luft can give you the down low skinny on Fairy Tail.
It's been so long.
Never mind, she says it's been so long.
Like, I haven't watched it since I was in college, and I'm very far behind on it.
Yeah, the only thing I remember about Fairy Tail is it should just discount Black Clover.
Hey! The last thing I remember is the Zodiac arc. I think.
Kaiju number 8's a really good one. Yeah, I really enjoyed Kaiju.
Kaiju number 8.
I'm very excited to see where they go with Sword Art, honestly. The fact that Gun Gale Online 2 came out means I really gotta catch up. I think I'm gonna slam my way through all of Sword Art again. I think it's that time of year where I rewatch the anime that I've watched at least like 14 times. Sword Art really is a great... The anime is nowhere near as good as the actual light novel because they were books beforehand. I'm not like manga, but they were actual books beforehand. And the books are great. The books are wonderful. They give you a lot of context to things that you don't normally see, such as why Kirito acts the way that he does, you know, because he's got agoraphobia. He's afraid of the outside and stuff like that. So him being in a world where everything is outside was his way of handling it. But because it was a virtual world, it was easier for him to deal with. But have you watched any of Apothecary Diary? Is that the one with the kids?
No, I know what it is.
I don't know what it is, so probably not. But if you ask me about an anime, more than likely it is on my list of backwatch. So I'll eventually get to it. Nearly fell to your death again in Fallout 4. You know, for the first time ever, I have uninstalled Fallout from my PlayStation. I've had it on there for so long. I think ever since Fallout 4 came out, I have had Fallout on my PlayStation, but I think I just uninstalled it for the first time. You recommend it? Yeah, like I said, it's probably on my backlog. There's just a lot of stuff in there. Trying to learn Hydro Pump. I don't want it to learn Hydro Pump because it's not great. Confuse Ray is such an... It's an either hit or miss move. Same with Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump, I think, is one of the stronger of the moves. The 80% accuracy I have found to be like a 30% accuracy in my playthroughs. So I never really rely on Hydro Pump, but, like, I don't know. Confuse Ray is good. It can put the status. Confuse Ray Body Slam, Paralysis Confusion is a good combo. But one, this is assuming that it procs the paralysis. Two, this is assuming that it procs, and I have found that the computer has, like, an 80% chance to use its move and a 20% chance to not over the, quote, 50-50 coin flip that it should be. That's an anime that almost made you cry. Let me think. There's some animes that have definitely given me the misty eyes. If it's not 100% accuracy, it's 50% accuracy. Yeah, that's true. It's either hits or it doesn't, right? I don't know. Confuse Ray is guaranteed to hit every time. We'll keep Confuse Ray. You guys know how much I dislike Hydro Pump. You guys have seen over the entirety of my playthrough that I think I've landed all of 5 Hydro Pumps. Don't have any anime that I think is good to watch or that I'm stuck on. Yeah, I can't think of any, like, anime that I think is, that I have any recommendations for. Elusive Samurai, I think, is pretty good. Not as many people, I think, are talking about that. Frick, what's that? There's this new Magical Girl anime. It's not new. It's an old series, but they made another one. It's called, like, Pluka something whatever, and it's got that Madoka look where it looks all cutesy and stuff, and the characters look all fanciful and fairy, but then when you get into the anime, it's got, like, Dragon Ball Z-style fight scenes between magical girls and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool, but I can't remember the name of it. I would recommend that anime that I can't remember the name of. We'll just go with Body Slam. Body Slam is the go-to move if I don't really have the type advantage or I don't need to be overwhelming something at the second. I think that Charmander could take on a Weezing. I just wasn't sure that Jolteon could take on a Weezing is the problem. I didn't think it had the power to do so. Because if its Shock Tackle or whatever the hell that move is didn't go through, then it was gonna die. Ranking of Kings. Oh, that is a great one. We still haven't caught up on all of Ranking of Kings. We had watched the first season. We haven't had the chance to watch the second one. There have been just too many other things. Currently on my list of things that I'm watching, that I'm catching up on, I'm currently watching Space Dandy, which, fairly funny. And also the fact that it belongs in the Cowboy Bebop universe also gives me a chuckle. Yeah, I guess we'll just go with Ice Beam here. Yeah, I think, however, we will stick with the, like, 2-hour stream schedules on weekdays when I can, once we end up making the new schedule here. And also, I gotta start posting out the new pass idea I have for the channel to help, like, stimulate its growth. Hopefully you guys will like the idea. You know, the more people we get into the channel, the more benchmarks we reach, the more stuff I get to add. So it incentivizes us all growing together. You know what I just realized? I have to find my my notebook that lists all the stuff that I was doing. on this game. I just realized that I don't have it present, so maybe it's down here. I think I have it down here. Disregard, found it. That was fast. But yeah, I have my notebook for all our catches and stuff like that. I'll have to get a new legal pad here soon since I'm almost running out. Either that or I'm going to have to transfer everything to an actual notebook. That's going to be a real pain. Ice Beam or Surf? I mean, either one works. They're both... Let's go with Ice Beam. I think... Does it have Mystic Ice equipped? Because if that's the case, then that'll be why. It has no Mystic Ice equipped on it. Okay. Good old Rattatas. You know, I wonder if somewhere out there in the Pokemon world, there's somebody who specializes in Rattata. You have also Keeper Surf, Fring, and War Thunder. Man, I haven't played War Thunder in, like... Actually, no, I'm thinking of World of Tanks, not War Thunder. I haven't touched War Thunder. Has there been any big updates or anything in War Thunder recently? I'm sure it's a game that I would enjoy. I do like games like that. Personally, like keeping the grind on. I have found that my favorite types of games, I have two favorite types of games. I really like roguelites, and I really like card games. Card games are always going to be one of my favorite types of games genres ever, under the sun. You hand me a card game, and I'm gonna, like, nut myself. But I just love card games. Whether it's Pokemon, One Piece, Naruto, whether it's Go Fish, Old Maid, Uno, Doomlings, Munchkin. I don't know what it is about cards. They put me in a very happy place. And roguelites, I really like the experience of playing through a game and then having the experience that you know how to play that game and then getting benefits for your knowledge and also getting benefits for having done certain things. I like being acknowledged for the time that I put into a thing, and I feel like roguelites do that. Unlike a lot of other games and stuff, roguelites, let me recommend one. I think Atomic Picnic is the newest one that I saw. It's currently in, I think, either alpha or beta right now. But it's not bad. It's like a mix between Risk of Rain and Vampire Survivors. And let me tell you, like, I've got some pretty decent time in Risk of Rain. And Vampire Survivors is like, I fucking love that game. It's like a nice, good old-fashioned bullet hell. And bullet hells are one of those games that I absolutely love. I'm just really not great at. But yeah, roguelites are a good one for me. Souls franchise? That's not a roguelite. That's a torture simulator. I really do like Souls-style games, because, like, it's all about patience. You guys know how I feel about these things. I feel like we go on these carousel of topics sometimes. But yeah, something like Dark Souls, I enjoy it just because it's a tough game that really requires you to understand the mechanics to fully take advantage of the system. The first stealth plane came to War Thunder. France is getting the Leopard 2A4, 2A5, and 2A6 from the Netherlands, and there's more to come in the update. I don't know what the Leopard is. I sure do know what the Stealth Plane is, but... Which is really funny, because if you want to talk about really cool military pieces of equipment, I think it was either... I think it was Ukraine or Poland, or one of those Slavic countries came up with a stealth tank. And it's a really cool piece of machinery. Like... it is capable of negating radar. Leopard's a German tank? Okay. I always assume German tanks are going to be good. They do have a great design for their heavy machinery. It was Poland. Yeah, but that stealth tank, super cool. There's a roguelite that I know that has a demo involving Winnie the Pooh. Search Winnie's hole. I get the feeling that if I search Winnie's hole, I may not come out with a roguelite. I mean, I just get this feeling that it's gonna turn into a different kind of hole. Poland built the stealth tank. Yeah, it was a really cool design. Really interesting piece of machinery. Very, very nice piece of firepower. The radar negation capabilities, the actual tank barrel and ammunition was pretty cool too. Good top speed, for a tank, which tank top speeds are basically hippo top speeds, so it's nothing to really scoff at. Gotta help your dad? Alright, you have fun helping your dad. Tell him I said hello. We'll see you again when we see you. With the calf, but she'll be back. Alright. Gotcha. I feel so bad about, like, just straight up body slamming and headbutting a fucking Rattata. Like, the image of my Snorlax fighting a Rattata with a fucking headbutt. It's just, I feel like it's just smashing it against the wall. Get your mind out of the gutter. It's a feeding hole. You mutate him. Oh, what? I am mutating a Winnie? You know what I would like to see made into, like, an actual video game? Would be Bears versus Babies. It's a card game. The card game is pretty fun. But I would love to see, like, an actual, like... Ooh, I think I can take it. You guys think so? You guys think I can take it? Oh, we're gonna find out. Oh boy, we played the roulette game and won. Because I was just thinking, oh boy, if this thing self-destructs, I'm not gonna have a good time. You know what? It's in the yellow. It's not worth accidentally my Pokemon. It should beat most everything here in the speed department. And Pay Newton is just like, he's gonna level up ungodly fast compared to everybody else, because we can't get the Alakazam. So, we give up a bit of our stats for speeds, but I think that's fine. We'll just go with regular confusion here. Don't need to hit it with anything other than that. I think the lowest for the Elite Four that we can go is probably going to be 55. I think that's what we established as our lowest possible level to skate. Not unscathed, but to at least get through it with minimal damage. I believe when, like, most people do their Nuzlocks, it's, like, level... what, 40-something or 48 or something crazy? I don't know exactly what people do for their Nuzlocks. Because, you know, not a professional Nuzlocker. You know what I do think would be interesting? I think running a random Nuzlocke would be very fun. Out of the many things that I have played, I feel like that would probably be the most interesting. Suddenly you encounter your first Rattata, and then it uses self-destruct, and it's over. I'm wondering what the time frame of Pokemon is. Because I'm sitting here thinking, as I'm looking at the actual floorboards, and those floorboards came from a very particular time frame in architectural design. I believe they're, like, from the 80s, that particular square pattern. If that's not tiling and it is wood, which would make sense, then I feel like it would be like from the 80s. If it gets slapped one more time, it's out, so we're gonna hope we win the speed battle. Think you'll go? Good luck with grinding and stuff. Alright. Catch you later, SRB. Thanks for popping in. I'm sure you were reminded as how boring the long grinds can be, and we're like, I'm out of here. Yeah, what we're gonna try and do is, I think I'm gonna try and start creating condensed versions of these, so we can start getting people on board with all the stuff that's actually happened. Because I'd like to do summary videos. I've never had the chance. It's so much work to go ahead and do all these edit downs that I need and to get the best of times and stuff like that. I just don't have the time to do it. I'm sure I had the time, but I was really busy during the 2 months that I was gone. So I wasn't just laying around doing nothing. Okay, yeah, that's it after that. regardless of it getting the level, it's within that really scary spot, so... So Paynoon's almost done. I think just any fight will push it above 50. We'll probably have to come back to Pokemon Mansion quite a bit, because I don't think there's any other place that's going to give us the kind of experience that we need. It looks like Cycling Road isn't the same Cycling Road that we dealt with before. So I don't think it's going to be worth trying to do any grind in there. Well, I have to get food for a fridge because it's empty, so see you next time. Yeah, sure thing. Thanks for popping in. I'll have a schedule more readily available here probably within the next few days. So go ahead and we'll see you when we see you, and hopefully I'll get my schedules updated and everything. I've got to redo a lot since I'm coming back. Let's just go with Shockwave. It's strong, mostly guaranteed to be able to take out what's in front of me. I did wish it had a little more power to it, because if it did, I think these double kicks would be guaranteed knockouts on these Kates. But as it stands, you know, not necessarily going to take it out. I thought that... Interesting, that Growlithe did not have an Intimidate. Oh boy. Yeah, it's not worth it. I'm gonna really hate the day that I go for that run on a Weezing and it doesn't take. That's definitely the loss of a Pokemon right there. Especially for something like Lycan Sub, it will definitely explode. Every time I see this, I'm like tensing up every time I freaking see a Weezing now. That is such an intimidating fucking Pokemon. Even with the level, even with the level advantage, I just don't feel like it'll be able to make enough difference. If I can get Thunder, that would be nice. I believe it does learn Thunder naturally, I just don't know what level. At a 36, there's a 50-50 now. Nope, it's not going to take it. Oh, it did! With a crit. Nice. I guess there is always opportunity. The ideal Pokemon would just be level 32 Raticates the whole way. Alright, 49. It's still got plenty of life in it, so... There it is. The ideal prey. Or level 28 Rattata, which is not ideal, but... Hello, Daddy Reflex. How are you doing today? You've come at the very long grind. You know, I'm just coming back after, like, 2 months of not streaming, and now I have no idea where the hell I am. I mean, I know what I'm doing, and I know where I'm going, but, like, it's just been so long. And having to grind, and I forgot how long these grinds are. Ate dinner. How's yours? How am I? I'm doing okay, you know, just kind of getting back into the grind of things, no pun intended. Yeah, I forgot how long these grinds take to get these things viable and stuff. We're currently only going for 50 right now. I think once we get 50, I'll take a look at what we have. Imagine not using rare candies. Yeah. Yep. You know, considering that number one, doing this whole challenge has been so all of this was the first time I've ever done a Nuzlocke, so I kind of went in raw without understanding a lot of the mechanics and not knowing what was going on. And number two, like a good 3/4 of the game is grinding. If you just take out the whole grinding aspect of the entire game, then what's the point of playing Pokemon? Like, 3/4 of the game is fighting Pokemon. And getting XP to fight more Pokemon. So, if I were to just use rare candies, which I kind of feel just takes away a lot of the run. It makes no sense. If I could just rare candy, then why wouldn't I just go ahead and over-level everything to 99 anyway? You know? I don't know. Just me personally, I don't like the use of rare candies. I feel like it kind of takes away from the whole point of Pokemon. But maybe I will feel different in the future when I have spent endless hours grinding. Not like I haven't already spent 19 days and 13 hours, almost 14 hours, grinding Pokemon here and there. But it's not too bad. It takes a little bit, but, you know, it could be a lot worse. I mean, imagine being in red and blue with no ability to, like, speed up or anything. Which is basically what I'm sitting at right now. We've had worse, though. Now that I've kind of optimized a lot of, like, the runs, understandable mindset to enjoy Nuzlocks by using other Pokemon and trying to make them work in a run. Yeah, like, so Nuzlocking has really given me an appreciation for Pokemon that I didn't have before. Yeah, I mean, Pokemon was there, it was cool and everything, but playing a Nuzlocke has really made me appreciate Pokemon that I normally wouldn't use or normally wouldn't run with. Like, I've never used a Jolteon before. As insane as that sounds, I always found that there was no need to run a Jolteon. Like, I never found Eevee to be that attractive a Pokemon. Its stats were always, okay. But now that I know that it has different variances, it's nice. Would I ever have used a Rattata or Raticate or kept it? Heck no. But now that I know that it's an absolute monster powerhouse in a Nuzlocke, yeah, it totally serves a purpose. Like, a level 50 Raticate is completely viable. It's not like I'm going against another person where I have to go ahead and think about some, like, 6-brain strategy, some, like, 40k chess move. But even then, like, the game itself, yeah, pretty rough. Honestly, I'd like to go ahead and, now that I've done something like this, maybe in the future I'll consider doing, like, modded runs of these things where I go through all of the fan-made ones. We find the best of the best for each generation and do a full fan-made Nuzlocke run. That's probably not going to be for a while, because once I'm done with this, I'm sure I will be sick of Nuzlocks for, like, ever. And then I'll move on to something else. I don't actually, like, there's a few things that I have on the docket for the next challenge, but that's so far in the future. Like, I've planned it out in the most basic of things, and I haven't even bothered to think about what I'm going to do after this whole Nuzlocke, because I still have... what do I still have? How many more games do I still have to go? I still have 23 more games that I have to complete before I can even consider what comes next on my channel. So, what is your favorite Pokemon to Nuzlocke? Are you more partial to using one of the originals, or is there a fan one that you enjoy? I've heard a lot of people hate Kaizo, not because they hate it, but because it's so damn difficult, and I really want to play Kaizo at some point. Hey, there we go. 50. Good stuff. Alright, let's move on to who's next in our docket. Coco and Charmander. As in a single Pokemon rule set, or just the game? I guess any one of those would work. What's your favorite Pokemon to use for your Nuzlocks? Do you prefer normal or hardcore as your playthroughs? And do you have, like, a particular game that you prefer to Nuzlocke if you do? I know we've had a lot of people come to the channel who, they've done a Nuzlocke here or there, or it's their first time doing a Nuzlocke in general, and they just come to see what's going on, and then they realize what this challenge entails, and they call me insane and walk away. You know, I don't think anyone sane would ever consider doing a Nuzlocke that requires you to play 34 games in a row, and if you mess up, requires you to restart. No sane person would ever consider that. I mean, it's just what my channel's based on. All those hardcore, time-consuming challenges that nobody wants to do, so... You'll start spreading out the moves here or there. Prefers hardcore rules, just enjoy that. You have less mechanics to abuse. Ah. Yeah, when I came into it, like, I didn't understand the difference between normal rules, hardcore rules, some of the ways that people did things, why people chose certain stuff. Obviously, I was one of those people who came into Pokemon with an aversion of boosting moves, like Dragon Dance or Rain Dance or stuff. You know, I just felt, why would I go ahead and waste a turn when I could be doing more damage? You know, I didn't come in with a sense of strategy or anything else to this game. So, now that I understand it, I can see why people go for different rules in their Nuzlocks, why people go for hardcore stuff, no items, and things like that. It makes a lot of sense, but since it is my first time ever attempting one of these, I don't think I would go for hardcore rules. I think I would have had to play quite a few more Nuzlocks for me to consider doing something like that. And I say that after having done nine runs of a Nuzlocke on this one, and then another 5 on the last like run through that I attempted. Considering the mindset of this kills them the quickest way, why not? Yeah, I mean, but that's, you know, that's the kid mindset of, you know, if it dies, then I don't have to worry about it, you know. It also comes from a place like, I play Path of Exile a lot, and one of Path of Exile's biggest rules is kill it before it kills you, kind of thing. Your defensive mechanics are there to just slapdash long enough for you to take out whatever you're taking out. That's one of those things that I really love about Path of Exile, is that it really is just, every build is just duct tape being held together to keep you in the fight long enough to take out what's fighting you. And I think that's one of those things that I feel is missing from stuff like Pokemon. I have my gripes. I have my gripes about how the Pokemon franchise is managed. The fact that their coding is so poorly done. We could have had all types of innovation and updates done to the series, but we don't. I don't really care so much about the Pokemon getting introduced themselves, but the new mechanics, like, there's no reason we cannot go ahead and have a game where we actually fight as our Pokemon. It makes no sense not to. Like,
I just learned something about that, by the way.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
The Power of Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
They didn't even own the rights to the thing that they're suing for until 2 months before Pal World came out.
Oh, were you talking about the mechanics?
Yeah, they're suing for game mechanics.
Yeah, they have. Okay, so here's the thing. When you want to talk about Pal World versus Pokemon, so Pal World falls in a very interesting. So the difference between American copyright and patent law and trademarking law is very different. Here in America, we have ways and lots of loopholes that allow companies or allow other companies or producers to make a particular thing that is close enough to be something else but can't be considered because it's been changed, right? In Japanese law, there is a very narrow margin, and there are fences everywhere to tell you this is where you are and this is where you stand. Where in America, it's kind of free range, and you don't know what's going to be yours until you wander into somebody's yard and step on a landmine. But Pal World fits in this very interesting niche, where here in America, it is considered a parody game, because it's making fun of the concept of what Pokemon has, and doing it in a way that makes it absurd, which would be considered its parody. In Japan, it doesn't violate enough copyright to be considered copyright infringement. So the game itself is in a very happy medium, where it's on the island of existence between both American and Japanese copyright law, right? So Nintendo can't sue them based on copyright. They can't sue them based on trademark either, because they're not using any of their Right, they're not using any of their IPs. They're not using their thing. A Chillet may look like a Pikachu, but it's not.
I think you got your animals confused.
No, I know what I said. A Chillet being the ice ferret.
It doesn't remotely look like a Pikachu.
It's the closest representation of a Pikachu. There are some things like the Electabuzz-looking cat thing.
The Chillet's like the ferret.
It's not... Chillet could be ferret, yeah.
The thing that was like the Pikachu was
Alright,
like
you are
cat.
missing the trees here. You are looking at the bark when I'm trying to talk about the forest.
Listen, you better be aware of what kind of forest you're in. And know your trees so you don't get poisoned.
Alright, anyway. So, they can't sue them off of the trademark because clearly the trademark isn't close enough to be taken for it, right? So the only place that they could possibly sue them is patent mechanics. Saying, hey, you have a ball throwing game. I invented the ball throwing game. You can't do that, right? The problem with patent... Ooh, do I take it or do I run? I could possibly take it. Bit unrelated, but the allegory of America having a landmine in their garden sounds correct. Yeah, laws, rules, and I think we could take it, but you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just the critical self-destruct is not worth the chance. Yeah, the American landmine garden is pretty accurate to how it is. So, the rules in America for how a lot of stuff is run, unlike a lot of other countries where they have very clear and defined rules and regulations, a lot of the rules and regulations regarding patent, trademark, and copyright laws in America have a bunch of loopholes that allow other people to make particular products, to make parodies, to make satires, and not go ahead and have themselves restricted. But at the same time, another company could find a way to litigate against you because it's just close enough, or it's just at the edge. So it kind of comes in where when you're navigating the American corporation in litigations, you kind of have to skirt around the bush and hope nobody notices you. Hope you're the smallest squirrel in the stack. So that way the cat doesn't grab you right out of the tree. Yeah. It's very hard to go ahead and have a lot of stuff. That's why when you go to the patent and trade offices, you have to pay them to look up if that thing exists to begin with before you even begin the process of trying to go ahead and do your copyright patent or trademark. So you're literally paying this government agency to look up if it exists before you do it. And if it does exist, then you can't do it, or you'll have to make modifications for it. So, I mean, there's a reason why there are lawyers who specialize in nothing but patent and trademark. Because it's such a convoluted, crazy system that you need somebody whose sole job it is to interpret for you. It makes perfect sense why lawyers like that exist. But yeah, when you get to something like Pal World versus Pokemon, it's in that very weird state. They can't sue on copyright because it wouldn't work in either courts and they would lose. And if they lose a copyright suit, it's damaging their franchise. They can't sue in trademark because nothing is really broken in trademark law, so they would lose and then damage their franchise. Patent suing is very difficult because if you sue another company for a patent that you have the ownership to, or if you sue another company saying that this other company is infringing upon your patent, and you lose that lawsuit, you are opening yourself up to a deluge of other lawsuits that are going to come in, and a bunch of copycats that are all going to jump on what you have just done. Losing a patent lawsuit is equivalent to just Cobaining yourself in a court of law. You can't. If you sue on patent and lose, it's pretty much the end of whatever you have. So that's why Nintendo was extremely worried about doing this. And them suing is not because they thought Palworld was a problem. They've had plenty of other companies come up and contest them before. But the fact that Sony backs Pocket Pair, and Sony has a problem. Hey man, it's been a while. It's great to see you're at the first Pokemon game you ever played. Hey! Welcome back. And yeah, it's okay. I like a lot of the quality of updates in Fire Red and Leaf Green, but I'm gonna be honest, it's getting stale. It's getting stale. Thinking about all the other stuff that I've done, this feels just like the Pokemon Plus. Trying to learn Rollout. Oh boy. A solid rock move. But that would have to consistently hit. Rest would make it so that way I could at least pull it in and throw it out. It would buy... Rest buys me a turn. I don't know. Headbutt is good for flinch. Body Slam is good for paralysis. Strength I obviously need. Rest is a very good workaround. May make a flinch. I guess Headbutt may not be perfect for use. You know what? Rollout is too inconsistent. It's a very strong move that'll continue to do more damage, but I think it's too inconsistent to keep it. It's not even... Yeah, don't do it. It's all good. I thought about it and considered it for a little bit, but it isn't worth it. I don't want to fall in the trap that Rollout puts out there. A move that's too good to not use, but too bad to actually use. Hey! Welcome back! Nice to see you again, Primrose. We'll switch out for Charmander. I think we're getting to that point.
Warning you now, I'm using the egg cooker. I'm sitting here to turn it off as soon as it pops off.
What are you talking about?
Egg cooker.
What about egg cooker?
The ring that it does.
What?
The ring that it does when it's done.
What about it?
I was just warning you.
Oh, you're warning me the egg cooker's gonna go off. I didn't know what the heck you were talking about there for a second.
Talk about eggs!
Talking about eggs.
Because I have a need for devil
Talking
eggs.
about you and me, and them and I, and us.
You were
You
on the right
like to talk
track.
about eggs.
Talk about me and you and me and my friend Steve. Or something.
What?
That's the sound. That's the song that's on TikTok. Hold on.
That's the one
Our
on
friend
TikTok?
Steve, I think. Hold on. I think that's what it was.
Oh, hey! Welcome back, Demon Pumpkin. How are you doing today? You're now shift leader at your job. Congratulations, you've ascended up the corporate ladder, yeah. Hopefully you're doing fine and you make big bucks from that. You're alive again? I mean, I've been alive this whole time, just, you know, gotta take care of the dog.
Oh. I was close.
How many badges have you got? 7 out of 8. We're gearing up for Giovanni right now. That's why the long-ass grind. So, for now that I've got some of my regulars here again, let me give the whole speech a second time here. So, once again, thank you guys for coming back. We're going to be making some updates to the schedule. I'm going to have to figure out the best way to go ahead and go about it. Azo singing, you're a pro. I'm actually trained to sing. You guys don't hear it very often, but I've spent most of my life singing. So yeah, I've also considered putting that in. So let me give you guys. You're making 12 an hour. Yeah, that's not bad. What are the hours and responsibilities looking like? Do you feel that your work is being adequately compensated? But yeah, so schedule-wise, I think we may go to every other day or something like that. I'm not sure yet, just because I still gotta take care of my dog. She's acting the same and everything, but you know, they had to remove some muscles and tissues, so she's not working on all cylinders, regardless of how she feels and pretends she is. So, another thing, work is just hampering right now. I've got a lot of stuff going on there, so I may have to go ahead and cut back on hours or put in certain hours on different days. So the schedule and everything may end up changing here soon. 2, we're gonna be implementing an incentive program to help the channel grow, so hopefully that will go pretty well, and I think you guys will like it. So the more the channel grows, the more will happen, and the more stuff you guys will have to interact with and whatnot. And 3, I am considering putting in my karaoke system again, where you guys will be able to actually request karaoke stuff. Where we do like a sing-along day, or maybe a full sing-along stream, or maybe people just get a song request or whatever, where, you know, my frickin' thing gets slapped by the copy gods. But yeah, I have some stuff planned, so hopefully it'll all come to fruition. I think Coco's the only one. Darwin's is really not there to fight. I mean, a flyer would be cool, but I don't know if I want to grind up another Pokemon. Like, a Doduo, Dodrio would be really cool, but, like, ugh, it's such a long time. Depends if we're short on people or not, but Friday and Sundays are consistent, 4:30 to 12. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Are you considered full-time now? I assume as a shift lead, you would be considered full-time, but I don't really know. Different companies, different schedules. We're almost done. Almost done. I'm very excited to be able to move on. Yes, I am. Nice. Did you use any legendaries until now in the entire gauntlet? I think I've used 1 or 2 legendaries, but, like, okay, so the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Number 1, I think way back when we used Moltres to fill up our team, not necessarily for anything other than a pivot point. So Moltres was in our team just to get knocked out so we would have a moment to update the rest of our team. So I wouldn't say we used Moltres as a legendary. I would say it was nothing but sacrificial fodder if we needed it. And then we used Kyogre during one of the playthroughs. I can't remember whether it was Ruby or Sapphire, but we used Kyogre for one of them. And mainly it was just to fill out the team more than anything else. We had other options, but it just so happened to be the best option at the time. And it's not like we were really using it for any other purpose than filling out our team. I wasn't using it to, like, blast down the door and tell everybody to put their hands up. It really was just part of the team getting used in its appropriate function. But yeah, past that, not really. We haven't really used any legendaries. We haven't had a need to. Our team has usually been filled out pretty well, and outside of the stray death here or there that caught us off guard, and then having to supplement a team member, there's really been no need. So you can say this run has been pretty pure. No real legendary use outside of that one actual instance of using it, but it was more used as like a regular Pokemon, not as a game ender. I think we used it to cap off for Metagross, and I think that was the whole reason I put it in my party, was just so I could end the game with Kyogre beating up the Metagross, and I think that was it. That was my whole plan. Have I found a draft yet? I have encountered one. I think I've encountered one, and I believe it ran or something from me. So I haven't been able to capture one, even though I've wanted to. I will say, when we get to the future generations, it's an extremely viable choice later on. It's not like I've been avoiding it. But it's a really good choice later on. Just because I think it's dark and psychic. So it's got some pretty good move sets. But I think the overlap obviously being Ghost, but you are so pro. No, I'm not a pro. I'm definitely not a pro. I just I understand the basics of it. You know, I am what the Path of Exile community calls proficient. I'm like 1,000 hours into Path of Exile. I know just enough to not die, but not enough to not get killed. Normal Psychic, actually? Ah, okay, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, so it covers its bases fairly well. But yeah, as for the draft, we'll get one day. One of these days. So your only weakness is Dark type. Yeah, it's a fairly good coverage, and I think it's got a lot of good moves under its belt too. It's definitely not a Pokemon that can just be thrown around left and right. Yeah, Girafarig is fairly strong, and I am kind of disappointed we haven't had one. I definitely would have included it in my final team had we. We'll still get the chance. We've still got a bunch of other times to go. After this, Leaf Green, and then after Leaf Green, we'll go back to, we'll be going to Emerald. So, that's gonna be fun. Having to relearn everything, go back and deal with all of the, subtleties that come with a new version. Also bug typing. Well, yeah, the psychic would work, but the normal type would that counter? No, because the thing always takes priority. So yeah, I guess bug type would be there. Its evolution is awesome. Looks like a baby giraffe wearing a hoodie. Normal type doesn't resist bugs. Yeah, I thought the evolution was pretty cool. Its upgrades looks pretty nice when it evolves too, so that's kind of why I think about it being viable for future stuff, is the fact that it definitely looks like it can go ahead and take on a lot of things. Hopefully we'll get one. It would be nice to have one in our party. I'll even give you the opportunity to go ahead and name it. So that, because you've been asking for it ever since we first ran into Gold and Silver. I do wish gyms in Pokemon had a little bit less theming and more, like, fighters that actually did what they were supposed to. Instead of having a herd of Tauros, you have a herd of Drafarig. That's so funny. Yeah, it's a good Pokemon. I think it's underrated because when it comes to choices between it, I think people don't take Drafarig because you have options like Stantler, which, you know, is a stand-in for Tauros if you don't have the availability to one. I think Stantler will see more use than a Drafarig. Also, Drafarig not necessarily having a high encounter rate either. So I think in the Nuzlocke world, you just, you know, you work with the hand you're given, not the hand you want. I don't think this is gonna kick us over, but... Hey, there it is. Solid 50s. With the only Pokemon that doesn't have a solid 50 being Darwin's, which I don't honestly... I want to level this thing up, but I don't. I want to level it up because it will be so much easier to have a flying Pokemon to deal with some of these dudes, but I also don't want to go through the process of leveling up a Pokemon if it doesn't have a purpose. It only shows up in the anime once, which is the movie with the alphabet soup Pokemon and a fake Entei. I have not seen that movie. I'm sure it exists, but I have no idea. What did I get from the Safari Zone? Let me check my notebook. Let's see, FireRed. So from the Safari Zone, we picked up Execute, a male Nidoran, and a Rhyhorn. We still didn't get anything in Section 3. So we still have access to something in Section 3, like a Dratini or something, if we wanted to go back for it. But yeah, we have not had any big stuff. I think we did get a shiny Rattata. Let me see. According to my notes, it looks like we got a shiny Rattata. Let me check our thing. But yeah, we didn't get anything really too useful out of there. Nidoran male is about the most useful thing that came out of Safari Zone. If we have a... Oh. Given for... How do I do this? Let's go to the... Oh, these are the Badass and Caw-Caw. Poor guys. Did I get anything from the game corner? Ah, there's our shiny Rattata. Bootlegs. Let me see. Game corner. Let's see. We managed to catch an Abra on Route 24, so we didn't need to go for the game corner. I don't think so. Instead of going to the game corner, we went for the Eevee and Celadon, which is why we have the Jolteon. So, we skipped going for game corner because we managed to go ahead and catch an Abra in the wild. So, yeah. We got a Jolteon because of it. In terms of the other Pokemon, let me see what I have in my box here. Raticate, Growlithe, and Male Nidoran. These are our backups. So should we have any issues, these are the backup Pokemon we can use. Dugtrio is a good possible. He is definitely the most common backup that we could use. Tangela and Aerodactyl are both backline Pokemon, with Ghastly also being a backliner. So, should any of these be incapable or we need a very particular move, we have these three to work with as our backups. Will you do the Sevi Islands after the League? I have no idea what those are. Yeah, what are the Sevi Islands? I have no clue. And then, you know, Potato. These are the Pokemon that aren't necessarily useful, but they're here if we need them. So, Chansient. And then I think this has pickup or something. Yeah, it has pickup. So I had put that in there to go ahead and grind, but there's no real need. Want to do a run where I only use dinosaur-inspired mons? Call it Jurassic Parlock. That's really funny. See, I think that would be really cool if there were a Pokemon game where you could start with an unusual starter, so you don't have your typical starters, but you pick a theme, and the Pokemon that you get or receive over the course of this are themed. Like some type of dungeon. And why did I box the starter? Mainly because we really don't need it. I have found that right before we get to Sabrina, I think the starter kind of lives its life at that point. There's no real need for it. It has some grass stuff, but it's not really that strong in comparison. I can't think of any of the mod in my current lineup, outside of Darwin's, because we need our flyer, that I would supplement for a random grass type. I mean, grass poison, really, but I can't think of any reason that I would supplement any of our team. Takedown and Charmander both serve their purposes. One for its Intimidate water moves, and Charmander as an ice move user. Like and sub, this is my first time ever using a Jolteon. So, like, you guys have said it's very good, so I hope it does work. Catlocks are fun, but more difficult, except only in generations where they get a cat immediately. Like 7 or 9? Ugh. I didn't even know there was enough Catlocks. Personally, if I was a Pokemon trainer, I would probably end up using a whole team full of frogs. I think there are enough frog Pokemon that cover enough frog bases that it's a viable team setup. And then, you know, Powerhouse Cat, and then our Psychic. I can't see, like I said, outside of our flyer, any need for the starter past this point. If we get into, if we go into fighting any of the Elite Four, it just doesn't. Do I have a Pokemon with a ground move? Not yet. I could go for Dugtrio. So, Dugtrio's in there as a sub-Pokemon that we can put in for later. I have it in the box for that reason, because we could always go for Dugtrio. It will naturally learn Earthquake if it doesn't already have it. So, it's got Magnitude, Dig, Slash, and Cut. Cut is obviously a dead move. Magnitude is okay, but inconsistent. Dig is fairly strong, but if it learned Earthquake, it would be pretty good. Amphibian Run sounds like fun. Litten and Sprigatito. Yeah, but right now we don't have anything with a ground move. We could, however... I think we have a TM for Earthquake, or we're going to get a TM for Earthquake, if we don't have one right now. Brick Break, I think I may put in at some point, but I don't know who to give it to. Fire Blast only if we end up using Growlithe for any reason. Please do get a move like Earthquake. Yeah, there's one coming up. I believe on Victory Road, Earthquake exists. So it's definitely in the works. If I don't find one by the time I get to the user flinches it beforehand. If I don't find one by the time I get through Victory Road, then I will probably end up putting in that Dugtrio. Would you consider Charmander an amphibian or a reptile? Because of being Charmeleon and Charizard being dragon-based. I would consider it a reptile, just because if it was an amphibious, it would go into the water, but it can't. Personally, I think some of the starters really need Galarian versions. If we're talking about, like... If we're talking about that type of... It would have to have some type of water base, so I think, like, a water Charmander would be a very interesting thing. Or a water Charmander, a fire type Bulbasaur would be pretty cool, and then a grass type Squirtle I think would be interesting. Completely mix everything around. Venusaur is considered a toad. Yeah, I believe Venusaur would fall into the category. From what I remember, I think Croaky, there are exactly 6 frog Pokemon that I could use for my amphibian team. Let's see. It says all 12 frog Pokemon, but... Let's see, Poliwag, I don't know if I would consider it a frog, just because it has a thing that looks like a tadpole, but I really wouldn't consider it a frog.
It's almost frog.
It's almost frog. Politoed, on the other hand, is definitely frog, so we could use that.
Where's that green one with the punchy fists?
What do you mean?
He's like a little...
Does he look like a frog?
Yeah, but he's got
Politoed.
No, is it? Oh, I definitely thought he had like white little like round punchy glows.
No.
Oh, I think I'm...
Krogunk.
Krogunk
is one.
Smashing Poliwhirl and Polyfrog together.
Or
it's
evolution of Toxicroak.
Oh, that looks cool.
Toxicroak would also work in the team.
Greninja is frog, isn't he?
Greninja is frog. Let's see, Temple, which I think turns into Palta and
That looks so fucking stupid.
It does. It turns into Seismitoad, which is my favorite. Stoner Frog.
That frog has some tumors or boobies on his head.
That's the poison sacs.
Boobies or poison sacs?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Listen,
Crazy.
They poison people's lives.
They do.
But let's see, Froakie. Froakie would also work because we'd end up getting Greninja.
I've never seen the evolution of Froakie. That's just skinny Greninja.
Skinny Greninja.
That's like the opposing clan to Greninja.
Yeah, but Greninja, and then... Yeah, so Greninja, Seismitoad, Toxicroak, Politoad, and then I think we'd have to round it out with probably Venusaur, and I thought there were more frog Pokemon. I'm pretty sure that there were a couple more frog Pokemon, because I remember rounding out my team perfectly. But anyway, let's get back to the game and let me stop looking at pictures of Pokemon.
Bulbasaur's a frog.
Bulbasaur's a toad.
Oh, he's Poliwrath is a frog.
That's what they say, but I don't believe it.
Poliwhirl.
No.
Yeah, okay, so you have Greninja.
Yeah, but having Politoad is basically... What about Bellybolt? Oh, yeah, that's the one I couldn't think of.
What the fuck is Bellybolt?
Bellybolt, it's the electric frog. I couldn't think of it. Yeah, in some of the newer ones, they introduced just enough frogs to...
Oh my god, that's so cute!
What?
I love it. Look at him. Look how dumb he looks.
Yeah. They introduced just enough frogs to actually count as a frog, so...
I don't like that Googling Bellybolt is that, and then a bunch of pictures of Jenny the Teenage Robot. What's that green one next to Bellybolt?
What do you mean?
The second row all the way to the right.
Second row all the way to the right.
What is that?
That's some flying frog fan-made Pokemon.
That's cool though, I like that.
But yeah, anyway.
Oh, the shiny one is yellow.
Let me get back to the grind here. You're back?
I demand a Bellybolt.
Don't be too upset over the elections. Yeah, we're just avoiding political talk here on the channel.
We're not talking about it.
We're not talking about politics. It is a channel destroying subject at this particular point in time. So he's a chonker and cute. Yeah, he certainly looks like.
It looks like
he looks like fat. He looks like a fat raccoon.
It looks like it's one of those things where you know how the moth, depending on what time of day you evolve the pod, it'll be a different kind of moth. It looks like it has a split, like variant of it turns into that or a different. Like, version.
That or a different version?
Unless what I'm looking at is wrong.
Not talking about politics, just giving assurance. Okay, I mean...
It is appreciated.
I appreciate it. Here's the thing. I work for the government, so I have no, like, qualms about the government. Like, I have no opinions when it comes to it because they write my checks. Your girlfriend is adorable. You're adorable!
I'm a gremlin!
We can do this, right? I think so. The belly of the Bellybolt is based on those electric orb things with static electricity.
I love it even more! I loved those things. It was like a constant impulsive thought when I was a kid to put my tongue on it, but I was so scared that I would get electrocuted. My parents got me one that was like a big swirly thing, and I remember this specifically because it did electrocute me. You know the metal like tinsel like icicle strands you just kind of like.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that they were like actually metal.
Actually metal.
I thought they were just strands of shiny plastic, and one got static like stuck to it. I'm like, oh, let me just grab this, and it fucking shocked me.
Ich bin Zurich. What does that even mean?
It means yeah.
Champion in the making. Don't even know the leader's identity. This will be the toughest of all gym leaders. Okay.
Because he doesn't know anything about the gym leader. Oh my god, the way I just did that ick made me realize I could probably do a pretty quick
Don't
look.
die. You're gonna sleep. Alright, Demon Pumpkin. You have good night. I like how they made the whirls faster. That's so important. Oh shit, I can't go back. Okay. There's that dude up there, I believe, who's blocking the path. I'll just go up this way. We can get it down to 2 fights instead of multiples if we do it this way. What did I like or dislike about World of Tanks? There are a lot of things that I liked, but the things that I disliked is what drove me away. The introduction of crazy, ridiculous tanks that don't actually exist. Never asked what's my favorite gym leader? Ooh. I don't honestly know if I have a favorite gym leader.
I don't know enough to shoot this.
Um...
I'm just gonna Google him.
Let me think about that. I think my favorite gym leader is... Let me think. Let me think on that, because I don't think I've ever really thought about who my favorite gym leader is. Person who had a level 100 Froakies second evolution over Greninja. He just looked classy. Oh, yeah, with his little fluff scarf.
If we're going solely based on design, there's this one gym leader that looks like she's got, her theme is like yellow, and she's got like these red and blue headphones on. Let me see if I can...
I like Whitney as a gym leader a lot. I think Whitney, aside from being a big old crybaby, like, she has a really good team set up. Obviously, it's a huge...
I'm looking at this list and there's so many, like, literal children that are gym leaders.
Yeah, there's a lot of literal children gym
like, how
leaders.
does that even work? Don't you have
because
to,
you're
like,
based on... It's based on skill, not on...
How does one become a gym leader? I thought you had to get, like, all the badges...
No,
like,
becoming a... So, gym leader's kind of just like a job, like anything else. Gym leader's like a corporation.
So you're telling
Whereas,
me there's child labor in the Pokemon universe?
I wouldn't say there's child labor, but there has been plenty of child... Yeah, stuff. Whitney is the Nuzlocke roadblock. Yeah, she's definitely in the way.
That's the Milk Tank lady, right?
Yeah, that's Milk Tank
I
Lady.
never had an issue with her. I don't understand.
I think you should try War Thunder because War Thunder is much more realistic, only real tanks, much easier to learn to play. And every guy I've heard that plays World of Tanks switch to War Thunder, they all say War Thunder is better.
Isn't that
I've heard a lot of
plane
people
one?
say War Thunder is better. Huh?
Isn't that the one with the planes, but you could also be a tank on the ground?
Yeah. Alessa is a gym leader you're talking about in yellow.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her design. I have a feeling she's a kid of the one that everyone's telling you to worry about, that is kind of like aesthetically designed after Umbreon. It's got the
Oh,
big yellow
yeah, I know
hair
what
with
you're
the little
talking
black
about.
thingies.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling they are related. This girl in the yellow.
I don't know, look it up.
Spoilers!
Oh no, spoilers for a game that's been out for like a decade.
I don't know jack shit about, yeah. There's also a lot of old
If you guys didn't know, Luft has never played Pokemon.
I played Gold, but I never finished it, and I didn't get past the part of where you had to don't make fun of me because I don't know shit, but are they dogs or are they cats? Those, like, the saber-tooth looking things? There's like 3 of them, and you had to...
Oh, were you talking the legendary dogs in the tower?
Yeah, I didn't know that was optional, so I got stuck on trying to fucking capture them, and never got past it, because I kept chasing them around.
I got you. I got you. So, you thought the legendary dogs were the next step in the story.
Yes!
And so you literally went through all of your time trying to catch
Yes!
the legendary... Oh my goodness.
For weeks
Now I
tried to
understand.
capture them.
Now I get it. Now I see why you never finished Pokemon.
I thought that was the next thing I had to do in the story.
Oh, Lord bless this
So
child.
like, if this is how this game is, I'm already angry. No, thank you.
Oh man, you really need to play Pokemon.
I'll watch
It's not.
somebody play it. That's why I'm sitting here.
What's the Discord server? Could you post that in the in the
Red or
Twitch?
purple?
In Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no iDiscord. In the time that I was gone, I didn't go around setting up or improving the stuff. I was so busy with the dog. I didn't have time to do any of that. So I apologize. My channel's still doo-doo caca. Alright, here we go. Wahaha, welcome to my hideout, blah blah blah, it's me. It's time. I have a server? Yeah, I do have a server. Like, it's fairly inactive, I guess because I'm fairly inactive. But nobody really talks in it anymore, and I'm kind of just like, well, come on, guys. I made this whole thing, and everybody can go ahead and associate and talk to each other, but nobody ever does. So it's just empty silence, empty halls, and empty silence. Can you join? Yeah, I think Luft is about to go ahead and post the thing, so...
YouTube too?
I mean, you can if you would like. You can put it on both of them if you'd like. But yeah, the Discord is there. I don't see very many people using it, but it is an option. We're just gonna keep switching between the two. Makes it easier. About to use Nido Queen. Yeah, we'll switch over to Pool Noodle here. Giovanni is a deadbeat dad and is balding. Time to go after the Pokemafia. It's kind of sad. Like, I really wish that they had decided to keep it, decided to retcon Giovanni never going back to a life of crime. I'm really sad about that, because we could have had Professor Giovanni, but we don't.
Maybe they're saving it.
I think it would have been really interesting to see Giovanni as an actual professor. And, you know, with, like, somebody like N serving under him. So, like, N and Giovanni together would have been studying Pokemon, which I think would have been perfect for the two of them. But, you know, we'll never get that because I think Rainbow Rocket is the... if I'm not mistaken, Rainbow Rocket is just a new version still led by Giovanni, right?
I think they were trying to get Giovanni to come back to being a criminal.
Well, they did, so... From what I understand, in the original Red Blues and stuff, he says, I'm gonna go away, and I forsake doing all of this, and I'll go ahead and spend my life studying Pokemon, which implied that he was gonna be a professor, right? It implies that if he's gonna go spend his life studying Pokemon, that he would go on to be a Pokemon professor. But then they decide, no, I'm gonna go be back.
They probably
And that's not his child, it's Silver, the redhead kid. Yeah, but I don't think Silver would ever want to make amends with his dad. Silver is not the kind of kid who would be like, I'm gonna go study Pokemon with my dad. The reason I say N is because N was very much a conservationist, and N's the kind of person that would see Giovanni, know about his past leading Team Rocket, and realize that this is the kind of guy that the two of us could make headway in. Because Giovanni, he may not be a great leader, but he knows a lot about running a business. And N doesn't know shit about running a business because Nisus pretty much ran everything for him. And I think N and Giovanni would have made one hell of a professor-assistant combo. Or two professors working together. They would have been fantastic. That's why I love early... It was so simple. And, yeah, Monster Rancher. You did ask me about that. Man, I used to love Monster Rancher. I was so mad when we never got another Monster Rancher or anything again. Like, because fucking Pokemon pretty much took over the space. So we're never gonna get another Monster Rancher because of that. Can't face my followers, I've betrayed their... As of today, we're finished forever. I shall dedicate my life to training again. Let us meet again. See, that's the thing. He should have just gone off, dedicate his life. He says training, but I believe he says studying Pokemon in the original. So it bothers me a lot. That we could have had Professor Giovanni, but we didn't. they remastered 1 and 2, and we got Ultraman crossover, Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher last year. You're telling me there's Monster Rancher in this day and age? Like, I loved Monster Rancher, man. That's why when I saw Slime Rancher, I was so excited, because I thought Slime Rancher was going to be Monster Rancher, but with slime. But it turned out to be Garbage Rancher.
Hey!
Listen, I'm entitled to my opinion of thinking Slime Rancher is garbage. It's a farming simulator. It's a farming simulator, where instead of me growing corn, I'm growing slime.
So? That's
not what I want! I want to go ahead and raise creatures, do activities, not look at slime, make things. I love Slime Rancher as a kid, but it's misleading. Exactly! It's misleading! Anyway, it's very misleading. Alright, guys, though. I am going to call it for today here. I wanted to make sure to get this gym leader done, so that way we all have it here. Like I said, the schedule's going to be a little bit inconsistent until I figure out the exact schedule. So keep on the lookout for that. Keep your heads on a swivel. We'll go ahead and be back at some point. I will try my best to get at least 2 to 3 streams in a week. Love you, Azana, and Azana girlfriend. Have a nice day. You hear that? You are loved.
Yeah.
But anyway, you guys have a fantastic day. I will figure out when our next schedule is and make sure to let everybody know. As always, if you like the channel and you like our content, please like, sub, share, follow. All of that good stuff helps the channel grow. Tell your friends so they're in the know. And we will see you again at some point in the future. Have a great day or night or whatever. And until later, I don't remember how I used to exit my streams.
Stay golden.
Stay golden! There's the one! God, I'm a bad streamer.